Hi everyone, I'm just doing a little video just to celebrate 20 years of the Bone Cancer Research Trust. They've been helping people with primary bone cancer for 20 years today, which is absolutely amazing. When I was diagnosed in 2017 with chondrosarcoma, there was no information, no support. I was up all night searching. One day I came across the Bone Cancer Research Trust and reached out to share my story, thinking that it might put me in touch with people, like fellow patients and things like that. I was reached out to by Deborah Floyd, who I am very proud to call a friend. She's been a great friend to me for the last nearly 9 years. She reached out, shared my story with her. For the first time, I felt sort of heard and like someone understood. When I was diagnosed, I was just given a little Google printout, 2 sentences explaining what chondrosarcoma was. A lot of the stuff online was really out of date. There's been no real research since the 80s until sort of now. And Bone Cancer Research Trust is so important because, you know, when you've got a rare cancer, you feel very alone. Your family, well, my family are great, I've had great support, but you just really sort of, there's no real information. I had no real prognosis, and then when I sort of had my first surgery and the surgery went wrong, found out it was quite aggressive, but still had no real prognosis because I was sort of a grey area. And it's really hard to hear, and things like non-curative sort of thrown around, and they've been great. They've put me in touch with so many patients that have not just chondrosarcoma patients, other primary bone cancer. I've become great friends with these people, and for the last 9 years they've literally got me and my family through everything. And there's so many people at BCRT that have just, you know, changed my whole journey. And my families, I remember the first conference we went to in 2018 and seeing Matt, Zoe and Jill, and my mum instantly felt, you know, supported, and like she wasn't alone in this as well, which was really important. I was lucky enough to be asked to speak at the 2019 conference, and then another one a few years later, and just to share my story. And obviously I've just, you know, had my 3rd surgery, and, you know, even though I've been like 9 years in, it's still sort of a massive shock. I've got another scan coming up on Thursday because there's some stuff going on with my leg, maybe from the last surgery where it hasn't healed properly like they wanted. There's also an area of suspicion, and it sort of throws you back into that panic. And if anything happens in my personal life, major sort of relationship changes, Sophie becoming sort of diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and other than my sort of core support family and friends, initial that know what's going on, but the people that I reach out to are always BCRT, and so I just want to thank them, especially Debs and Joe, that have had to put up with random emails at silly, you know, and texts at silly o'clock where I'm just having a sort of a freak out. But everyone there has been there so much for me, and as I say, many patients have become, you know, close friends, and we're all like one big family. I know it's really cliche to say, but you don't really get that with charities, and I think it's really important to celebrate them. And I like the fact that they're letting us sort of, as patients and supporters and friends of BCRT, basically take hold of how to celebrate the 20th anniversary by sharing our stories and memories. So you're going to be seeing a lot of that from a lot of us. I'd love this to be shared. Feel free to share it. I'm going to do a couple of other posts tomorrow for Mother's Day, and I just really want to sort of thank them all for everything they've done, and for always being there. And obviously the research, the funding and things like that that's happening, things are really changing. You know, I've got a couple of events coming up that they've been majorly part of for chondrosarcoma, which was sort of unheard of since the 80s and stuff, but over the last few years things are really moving for all primary bone cancers, and the Rare Cancers Bill has just been passed, so that's good news for us. But I just really wanted to, you know, to take this time to celebrate and say thank you BCRT for everything, and happy 20th.